Hi guys, good afternoon from beautiful sunny Mazatlan. It is beautiful and sunny. Look at that blue sky. But look over there. Some pretty heavy duty buildups running down along the mountains, and there's a 80% chance tonight of a thunderstorm. So that's kind of fun. We'll see what happens. It says from about 11 o'clock tonight right through till 5 in the morning. Big chance of heavy rain, so we'll see. Anyway, life's good here in the headquarters. Had a guy come to the door today. He's a Jehovah's Witness. His name is Santos Lopez, and he was a really nice guy. Well, I had a good friend that used to go down to the Puerto Viejo bar with me, not to drink but to watch baseball. He was from Seattle. His name was Rick. We used to call him Ricardo. I think it was either Steves or Stevens. I think Rick Stevens. And he was a little older than me, probably 75, when he had to go in the hospital and have a toe amputated because he had diabetes. So he goes in on Monday. We almost always would watch the baseball on the weekends. And he calls me on Wednesday and he said, "Are we going to watch the game this weekend and they're going to let me out on Friday?" I said, yeah, of course. I'm looking forward to it. And then the very next day, his wife called me, Thursday. Her name's Sandy. She called me. He was dead. It's one of those things when it just staggers the imagination. Somebody that you've enjoyed the company of for, probably knew Rick for 4 or 5 years. Got a lot of laughs at him. What he'd do, he would watch the baseball, and Rick get way too excited. There'd be a big play about to happen. He'd like, "Oh, I can't watch. And he'd cover his eyes and he'd run out to the sidewalk, and then a bunch of us watching the TV would all cheer or go, "Oh!" He'd run back in. "What happened? What happened?" It was so much fun. I miss him very much. So anyway, Lupita came by last night, 10, 11 days into this separation, and picked up a few things she'd left behind, stuff for her cake decorating or cake baking business, and not much else really, a bunch of odds and ends. And anyway, she cleaned out the fridge. She had all this stuff in there, all stuff for cakes, and some of it was starting to get a little smelly. Anyway, she's fixed all that, which is great. And so anyway, the whole idea was she's helping me, like she has for a long time, pay the rent, because the landlady's, it's not that she's difficult, it's just that she's difficult. And what she says, she used to have an account at Coppell here. There's a bank in the Coppell. Banco Coppell, oddly enough. And I just go put the money in her account, and it was so easy. It's 4 blocks from the house. And I don't know what happened. She said something about losing her card. "Hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenas tardes." These ladies walk by every night. They're so nice. Anyway, she doesn't have that anymore, so Lupita has to go out. Well, she lives out by where this lady lives, and I give her the money, and she goes and pays the rent. And so that was the plan last night. It's so funny. All day long, I knew that was the plan. Lupita says, "Well, I'm coming in, oddly enough, to go for a job interview." Not to make fun of that, but she'd been living with me for 11 years and maybe worked one of them. Now, all of a sudden, she's going for a job interview? I wish her well. So anyway, once she was done, she showed up here and she texted me and she said, "I'll be at your house in a half an hour." So that's when I reached for my wallet to get my bank card so she could go to the bank machine and get the money. And no bank card. Guess I should switch to the street. Now you can see me. No bank card. I'm like, oh crap. And then I remembered I'd given it to Cynthia to go buy the paint to paint the house and the patio. Anyway, I called her right up and I said, Cynthia, do you have my bank card? I do, in fact. I said, oh shit. I said, I really need it. Like, wait now. That's what I'm using to pay my rent. Oh, Duey, I didn't know you needed that right away. And here she'd been working 4 blocks from the house all day long. I never thought about looking for the card. She never thought about giving it to me. She completely forgot about it. And anyway, big scramble. Turns out she was a half an hour away from the headquarters. But anyway, she jumped in an Uber, brought it down, gave me the card. Peter went and got the money out of the bank. She had a Dee sitting here waiting for her, I guess. Anyway, she went down, got the money out of the bank, came back. I got my card back. And texted me later that night and said, I've paid the rent. So I said, we've got to make better arrangements with the landlady, because this is crazy. Chasing her around. I'm paying her a week early. The rent's not even due till the 19th. What's today, the 12th? So, it's done. The rent's paid on the headquarters. It's painted, patio's painted. I'm looking now at artificial carpeting, artificial, what they call it, pesto, like indoor, outdoor grass, whatever you want to call it, for the patio, and a table and chair set with an umbrella, so we can sit out there and actually enjoy the space, because it's quite a nice space, and it's fine sitting here on the banquetta, but I don't know, you drink a few beers and cops are going by, and I just don't want any issues with those guys. I'd much rather, when we're having a few, sit on the patio. So let's go from there. And then Cynthia says to me today, you know what you should do? You should open a little bar on your patio. And I've thought of that before, and I said to her, I've thought of that before. And she said, yeah, you just got a bar fridge, because I bought a bar fridge with the intention of putting it in the bedroom while I was kind of bedroom bound. And a Honda Accord, I'll tell you about one of them in a second. Anyway, I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, but it says Coca-Cola all over it. So a little Coke fridge, kind of nice. And she said, you got a bar fridge, you got everything you need, you got a bathroom, open your little bar. And she says it can be a bar for 4 people. You know, that's very tempting. That's something worth thinking about. I don't know what licensing's involved. No freaking idea, but I'm sure Cynthia would know. She works in the bar business. Or she could certainly find out. And so we'll see how that goes. So in the meantime, I went down to the Olympia today to give her the card back so she can pay extra. See, I can't go to the bank. I can't. What am I going to do? I guess I could get an Uber and all that, but Cynthia can go down, get it done, come back here, sit and talk to me for a couple hours, and we have a nice evening. Look, she's going with a big chocolate cake for somebody's birthday. Can you see that? Anyway, so it's in the bar today, and then I said, well, I'm pretty much ready to go home. Oh yeah, well yesterday I was on the phone. Let's start there. On the phone, looking for, I was talking to somebody and they said, I'm going to give you a number. And I said, just a second, let me find a pen. Do you think I could find a pen anywhere in this freaking house? And it's been that way forever. And back in May, I bought a box of 60 Bic pens. And I said, put them in the basket, put them on my desk, put them wherever, put them in the kitchen, so there's a pen when you need a pen. And so I asked Lapita last night, what the hell happened to all those pens? 60 pens. Oh, I put the box in the storage carton. It's under your bed. Okay. That'd be the first place I'd look when I'm trying to copy down a phone number off a telephone call. Sorry. Having a moment here. Anyway, so they treat me really well at the Olympia. I was going to come home in Uber, and they wanted 69 pesos, let's say 70 pesos, to come up from the Olympia to here. Well, that's too much. That's more than it costs. That's way more than it's worth. And then by the time you give a tip, you're into 100 pesos. So I said, no, what I'm going to do is have another beer and wait them out, and the price will go down. And I did. The price didn't go down. But one of the guys at the bar, who actually is one of the owners of the bar, said, I'll drive you home, Duey. No problem. And he had this beautiful, big, white Honda Accord. Oh, what a lovely car. Just like a big Mercedes. And he brought me home, and I gave him 50 pesos. He said, you don't have to do that. And I said, no, I want to. So I gave him 50 pesos. And he helped me get out of the car, get to the door. It's all good. I'm in my chair. I got a beer. Cynthia's going to the bank to get money to pay Hector and get me some cash. I don't have any efectivo, as they call cash. And and then she'll stay here for a little bit. It's something I've discovered. I was talking to her about her house. She owns her house. It's been in the family for a long while. But it's not a very fancy house, let's put it that way. Pretty basic little house, one room house. And it's the salon, the big room, is 4 meters by 6 meters. So, what's that? 12 by 24. And she's got the boys in bunk beds in there. She's got a little kitchen with like a 4-burner hot plate thing. Mexican families don't have ovens. They just don't use them. And so she lives a pretty basic life. She showed me pictures of her patio that are reminiscent of what my patio looked like before Hector came and worked his magic. And a pretty rough looking little patio. She lives by herself. She supports her 2 boys. And this is getting rare now in Mexico. Well, certainly in Mazatlan, where it's hotter than the hubs of hell for 4 months of the year. She has no air conditioning. They survive on a fan. So what I want to do is look into these portable air conditioners and see if I can get one that suits that space, a 12 by 24 space. And if I can, I'm going to treat Cynthia, because she sure looked after me here, getting groceries, getting medications, getting me back and forth to the Olympia, from the Olympia. She and I are friends. We've been friends for, well, she said today, years. And I said, yeah. And so, anyway, that's my plan. Anybody knows how to make that plan happen? I'd sure like to hear it. Well, guys, that's all off the top of my head. I don't think I've forgotten any great detail. Don't think so. But all off the top of my head. Thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you soon. If I forgot something, it'll be in the next video. Bye for now.